Alvar Aalto was a Finnish architect and furniture designer whose designs helped establish Scandinavia as a center of modernist design. In contemporary times, Scandinavian modernism is at the forefront of design, as evidenced in the success of the industry-dominating Swedish brand IKEA's furniture designs. In this film, I will discuss how Scandinavian modernism of the 20th century persistently influences today's society, focusing on the elementary, function-first, minimalist aesthetic of both Aalto's and IKEA's designs, which are born from the socio-economic changes in the early to mid-20th century. I will explore how this style came to be known globally for its quality, functionality, and special human warmth, something that stands out from other mainstream European and non-Scandinavian modernist design movements. Alvar Aalto was a pioneering modernist architect and furniture designer, born in Helsinki, Finland in 1898 and lived until 1976. Growing up in a rural area, he developed a great appreciation of landscape and topography, an interest which would help him create his greatest architectural designs in his future career. Alvar and his wife Aino won a competition to design the Paimio Sanatorium Tuberculosis Hospital, which was completed in 1933. The pair collaborated in many architecture and furniture design projects, together creating the company Artek, which still sells these modernist furniture designs today. Aalto's comprehensive design philosophy can be surmised by the phrase he taught to students: "What an architect says does not mean a damn thing. What counts is what he does." Aalto and his wife Aino, through Artek, released multiple classic modernist pieces of furniture with a light Scandinavian quality, whose aesthetic legacy continued to inform, if not directly influence, the designs of brands like IKEA today. A rendition of Aalto's stool E60 in 1934 is even sold today by IKEA without any mention of Aalto being a key inspiration. Explained by Hinchman and Joneda, their laminated curved wood furniture with its bent knee design brought the Finnish tradition of warm wood into the space, a departure from the cold tubular steel popular among continental European modernists at the time. Within the Paimio Sanatorium, Aalto had designed the Paimio armchair, a quintessentially modernist piece made from bent wood streamlining together the back seat, legs, and arms, angled to provide maximum human comfort. The Paimio armchair is set at an angle that better allows breathing for the user, with a frame designed specifically to replace tubular steel seating being made from material, wood, more suited to the human body. Additionally, the chair's metal base is designed to respond to all the same considerations as those of today's manufacturers, which are light in weight, hygienically correct, mass-producible, and affordable in price. Aalto took advantage of modern technologies while considering both aesthetic lightness and human comfort and economic practicality, all of which typify modernist design and use their principles to create good design which is integrated in mainstream usage and accessible to the masses. Alvar Aalto's Stool 60 exemplifies modernist design principles which carried an air of excitement around the introduction of a new modern Scandinavian style in society at the time, becoming widely adopted in Scandinavian homes, introducing a new lifestyle that continues today. According to Danish Design Review, the stool's robustness and longevity meant that it became a standard item, passed down in families from generation to generation, customized and personalized over the years so that most Finnish families have a Stool 60. This groundbreaking design demonstrating Aalto's understanding of carpentry and specific qualities of local timbers, in combination with the stool's simple setup making it light and strong, and even stackable and stable on uneven floors without the need of a skilled cabinet maker, meant that Aalto's designs captured the excitement of the society they served, showing to be capable of reinterpretation in succeeding decades as symbols of the highest aspirations. In response to the mechanical automation of industrial processes during the modernization of society in the early 20th century, and the world wars that followed that period, Aalto's modernist designs came to life by focusing on health and human well-being. Modernist designers in general aimed at creating a new world, one that was technologically and ideologically sophisticated, unlike the one prior to the world wars that had been destroyed. They wanted to rebuild a world that was utopian. Aalto's work on the Paimio Sanatorium Tuberculosis Hospital demonstrates modern ideas of health and wellness after the war, and tuberculosis breakouts drove the development and implementation of new technologies and design methods, creating a new aesthetic of lightness and sterility. Aalto uniquely took psychology, emotion, and senses into consideration, focusing on bringing nature and light into the hospital, designing facilities with the patient's emotional and sensory well-being in mind, demonstrated in the wash basins, which are set at an angle to reduce noise. The hospital rooms were designed around contemporary tuberculosis cures, that, as Nasatius states, required some considerable time, overexposure to the sun, and the taking of a great deal of fresh air. Thus, the windows were placed so the patient can see the surrounding forest. Alto thought that a hospital room is for a horizontal human being, who typically spends weeks in bed staring at the ceiling, feeling helpless. So the ceilings of the hospital rooms were made to be a muted color and not glaring white, and were lit indirectly, not with a fixture that shines directly into the patient's eyes. Additionally, radiators sent heat onto the patient's feet, keeping their heads cool. In response to the damage on society caused by the world wars and tuberculosis outbreaks, Alto's designing around human psychology and senses exemplifies modernist good design for social change, providing solutions to not just physical problems but for the human experience as a whole. His work on the Paimio Sanatorium brought a friendly face to the cold reductionism of mainstream modernist design, embodying a distinctly Finnish and strongly individual quality, marked by a warm humanity that made Scandinavian modernist design well received internationally. IKEA's visual identity has clearly been inspired heavily by 20th century modernist designers, particularly from Scandinavia, being a company that was born in that landscape itself. Started by Ingvar Kamprad, the global furniture and lifestyle empire began as a humble mail-order service dealing with furniture on the family farm Elmshärad in the parish of Agunnaryd in Småland, the name IKEA being an acronym of these initials. In 1953, the first store had opened, and in 1956 the flat pack and self-assembly model had been introduced to improve efficiency of labor and resources required for manufacturing and transporting the furniture. IKEA's key goal being maximum efficiency for the smallest price relates to the modernist ideals of optimizing designs for mass production and efficient manufacturing. Their aesthetic universality and light, stripped-back designs that fulfill the practical needs of life also follow the modernist ideologies that good, function-focused design should be universally accessible to all. Even IKEA's self-proclaimed get-it-done attitude and their vision for building a better everyday life for their customers is similar to Alto's design philosophy in the early to mid-20th century. IKEA furniture shares not only an aesthetic quality with Alvar Aalto's Artec designs, but also an embodiment of modernist ideals shown by their aim to sell products that are accessible, affordable, and well-designed. This is expressed in IKEA's idea of democratic design, executed in their products and business model, which has 5 dimensions: function, form, quality, sustainability, and low price. IKEA has also designed their services for hospitality and the human experience, similarly to Aalto, such as their cafeteria and play center, flexible assembly and delivery options, and their primarily self-service store model. IKEA's products are heavily inspired aesthetically by 20th century Scandinavian modernism, as seen with the previously mentioned Froster stool, replicating the 1934 Artec Stool 60 almost exactly. Such stripped-back design was a popular approach across modernist designers in the 20th century, as seen with the similarity between Artec's Modello No. 406 chair and IKEA's Pohang chair, which similarly uses plywood, formed in an organic shape curved to the body of the users where the legs, armchair, and frame become one. Like Aalto's modernist response of the Paimio Sanatorium to the health crisis of the interwar period, IKEA is attempting to combat contemporary sustainability issues of today, reducing the environmental impact of waste as a byproduct of cheap mass manufacturing, something that was ironically idealized by modernists in the 20th century. Specifically, the Moina lampshade is made of recycled plastics and renewable viscose, available in a flat pack, something that IKEA claims is doing everything to reduce our environmental impact. By analyzing modern-day IKEA as a global industry-dominating corporation, it's clear to see how the influence of 20th century Scandinavian modernists such as Alvar Aalto contributed to creating the contemporary mythology behind the uniquely human-focused and exceptional style of Scandinavian modernist design, whether the products being sold under this guise truly follow modernist ideals of good design or not. The legacy of Alvar Aalto's furniture and architectural work continue to shape the global understandings of Scandinavian modernism in contemporary times, as evidenced by the global domination of IKEA. Exemplified in the Paimio armchair, Stool 60, and work on the Paimio Sanatorium, Aalto combines the classic modernist ideals of minimal, function-focused design with a particular human warmth, distinguishing his approach as uniquely Scandinavian. His process of informing design around the user's physical, emotional, and psychological needs, as well as simplifying these designs to be compatible with mass production and global dissemination, parallels IKEA's products and business model, promoting function, form, quality, sustainability, and low price through their focus on self-service, minimal and universal aesthetics, efficiency in assembly, and affordability for customers. The success of IKEA in contemporary times subsequently continues the legacy of Scandinavian modernist design.